Does my eyes deceive me? Did Welcome to the Ballroom actually come out at a decent time today on Anime Strike? Well done. Well done, Anime Strike. I know I've been shitting on you, but, you know, I will compliment good service when I see it. You finally did something right. You finally got me an episode on time. Hopefully that continues to be a thing. Anyways, this week's episode of Welcome to the Ballroom. Okay, so Mako, that final moment where she's like, make me bloom. I'm like, that's just so sweet. She's so cute. I love her. I fucking love her. I'm still kind of sad that she is not the main female character, apparently, from what I've been told. But I really love her. She's such a sweet character. I really hope she's not a character that falls into the background after, you know, this arc is done. Because she's just been such a great character, tremendous help with Fujita and helping him out. And they're so compatible. Their personalities are so similar. I mean, you see many examples throughout this episode where they're just like trying to say, oh, it's my fault. No, it's my fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not my fault or whatever. They were just going back and forth. I'm like, oh my god, this is just cute. They're just so compatible. You would think that they would actually be permanent partners, but like I said, they're not. So I'm very curious on who is going to be Fujita's permanent partner once, you know, we're done with this arc, because for these two to already be this compatible, I'm kind of curious. I'm very curious on how Fujita's, you know, in-game partner will be. Anyways, though, this episode had one thing that does need to be mentioned, and it's something that is concerning, but it isn't too bad at the moment to actually warrant, like, oh shit, this is a bad series or anything. But it needs to be addressed. And so I'm going to discuss it before I get into all the good stuff of the episode. So, I don't know if it's just me, okay? It might just be me, but I want to point it out just in case. The episode, or these recent episodes of Welcome to the Ballroom, they've had some good stuff. Like, there's been some good dance scenes, there's been good art and animation. However, a lot of the dance scenes seem to be lacking what was shown earlier on in the series. Like, when you go to the first, like, 2 or 3 episodes, you see some really good dancing. Like, the way the dancing was shown, you're like, holy shit, this is good. And I've noticed since this competition began, a lot of the dances are kind of skipped, and they're not really showing the flow of it properly. Now, I don't know if this is the anime's problem or the actual manga's problem. I really have no idea since I'm an anime only here. But from my point of view of watching Welcome to the Ballroom, just the art animation, it's good, it's not showcasing what's really important in this anime, and that is the dancing. Now, don't get me wrong, we need good characters for this series. That's one of the big things that drive these series and make these series so good, is the characters. However, one of the big things about it is dancing, and I know dancing type stuff, when it comes to anime or any type of art and animation, it takes a lot of work, a lot of effort to be able to do, because there's just constant movement on screen. And I know how the anime studios are done nowadays, and how, like, you know, certain employees are done. They don't have a lot of time to take a break. They're overworking, they're exhausted. I can understand that. I've discussed this in previous videos a couple of months back. However, though, this series does require a lot of effort and a lot of work, and I feel like this, you know, studio that is working on it currently, these past couple episodes, it has been lacking in terms of the dance. So, I really do hope that steps up, and we get to see more, like, flow with the dance, the full dance instead of, like, little cuts between it or whatever. I would like to see more of it. But anyways, getting off of that, let's talk about something that was a real problem that was introduced in this episode, and that is stamina. Now, we already know now that one thing was introduced a couple episodes back to where the room is moving in, like, you know, a counterclockwise position. And you need to be able to rotate with the room and secure your own spot. This was established, which was a really cool little detail that was awesome and phenomenal, because I never really thought about that when characters had to dance in, like, a ballroom, because obviously if you're dancing and doing these flashy things, you might bump into each other, knock each other down, and so I never really put too much thought into that until it was actually mentioned in this series. So it did teach me something about dancing. And once again, another realistic element that would happen in real life was also introduced: stamina. When you think about it, at the end of the day, we all look at this as if it's like an anime. For instance, characters could possibly not get tired or whatever, because obviously they're not real. They're just dancing and stuff. And so sometimes we tend to have it slip from our minds that these characters, in their world, their verse, they can still get tired. And you might not think about these realistic problems actually affecting the characters. And in this case, when you see Fujita actually getting worn down as the day continues, as he continues to dance, it makes me love the series even more. Because Fujita, he's a new dancer. He's someone that is relatively new at dancing. He's only been dancing for like a couple months now, like 2 or 3 months, and it really hasn't been that long at all. And so anyone that hasn't really done much in their life, from what we have seen established, he is someone that's kind of been like an outcast. He hasn't really had any purpose or whatever in life to do really anything major. This is the first time he's really done something this like extensive, like something that takes this much stamina. And so with him doing this, you could assume that he obviously wouldn't be able to perform like the professionals can, because professionals, they've been doing this all their life. Since they were a kid, they have been training, they have been constantly dancing and moving since like they were probably 5 years old or maybe even younger. They have been learning how to continuously dance for long periods of time, and so it's obvious that they would have a higher stamina capacity. While Fujita, since he's very new, he can't do that type of stuff. He doesn't have the ability to dance for like hours on end. Now, obviously, it was showcased that he can practice for a lot of hours, which I do like how that scene was acknowledged in this episode. That was a very nice way to showcase that the writer did not forget about Fujita staying up all night and practicing. I like how that was established, that it was still remembered, it was still there, but that still wasn't the main point of it, because there's a big difference between practicing like one certain moveset and actually dancing in the thick of it with everyone, and everyone's either cheering you on, booing you, whatever, and you're having all eyes on you. It's obvious that there's going to be a lot of strain on your body, mental stress and physical stress on your body, and so Fujita wearing down, not being able to perform properly in this episode was definitely a plus for the series. I do like how Welcome to the Ballroom continuously adds these realistic elements to the dancing, and I would continuously love to see more stuff like this. I mean, we already seen, how, Hyodo, how his leg is fucked up because he pushed himself too hard, so we do know that injuries is a thing also in this series. So I would love to see more and more stuff like this continuously to be introduced into this series. Anyways, though, let's talk about the conflict. So, Shizuku, she is actually determined to win. I understand her position. I mean, think about it. Hyodo, he's someone that was a very excellent dancer, and it was already established that he is getting so good, he might eventually just surpass Shizuku and just leave her behind, and that's what she's been feeling. That's her emotion she has, and so with him basically, actually saying, hey, you need to beat her and all that, or he was hyping up Fujita trying to help him out, and so she's trying to get strong in her own way without him before she could possibly keep up. And when this was established in this episode, where she's like, I'm going to go all in, I'm going to try my hardest and all that, I'm not going to let you guys have a win or whatever, she will try. That was a great moment to show that Mako and Fujita are going up against a serious opponent. They're actually going up against someone that's not going to hold back. It's not just, Mako's brother that wants to win, but it's also Shizuku that wants to win, too. She is going all in to try to better herself and her dance career. So, yeah, anyways, that's about it when it comes to this episode, so let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.